friends of YouTubers. This is Kurt, and welcome back to the Kurt's Place channel here on the YouTube. Well, guys, it's time for another arcade game review. I'm back down here in my basement arcade. I'm going to have this arcade game review for you. Now, this time we're going to be playing Galaga, made by Namco in 1981. This is a classic game I remember growing up. I was 11 years old when this game came out, and I loved playing it then, and I love playing it today. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you in this video. Now, I wanted to mention that the version that I'm using, I'm actually using the Galaga Midway Set 1 with the Fast Shoot hack. I like the Galaga with fast shooting, and this is the one that I like to use when I play Galaga. Now, I also want to mention, too, on my channel right now, there are other videos on my channel as well of other arcade game reviews. If you want to check those out, just go to my channel, look under Arcade Game Reviews. You can check out other games I've reviewed as well. All right, let's go and begin. Now, the one thing about Galaga, something you might want to try. I actually prefer to have Galaga on a very hard setting. I like to play Galaga on the hardest setting that I can. So what I did under my dip switch settings on here, I'm going to show you on my dip switch settings. I actually have it set. So I have bonus lives none, lives 3, difficulty hardest. What this does is this makes Galaga quite a bit harder than it normally would be without having extra lives and things like that. And having it on the hardest difficulty setting really offers an extra challenge when you play Galaga. I highly recommend that you try it. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, you can always put it back to the regular difficulty. But definitely try Galaga on this setting sometime. See what you think. I'll tell you, it really does offer a big challenge when you do it, too. All right, let's go and begin. Now, this is one of those games, like I was saying, I was 11 years old when I grew up, and this is one of the games I remember playing in the arcades back in the day as well. And this is another one of those games, another one of those 80s games where simplicity was always, I used to say simplicity was always one of the sweetest things about the early arcade games. In fact, they weren't complicated. They were quite simple how they worked, yet they were a lot of fun, too. Really, really cool stuff. And something to that, I always liked about Galaga, I like the fact that Galaga had the challenge stages too. I always thought challenge stages were nice. Nice way to get a little intermission between the action too. Very, very cool stuff. And I always loved the music, too. And that was one thing, back in the day. I remember in the arcades, too. That's one, I always remember hearing Galaga playing. Anytime I was in the arcades back in the 80s, I always remember hearing Galaga being played. It was always one of those sweet sounds that I enjoyed in the game. In addition to games like Miss Pac-Man and stuff, too, really gave the arcade a wonderful sound back in the day, too. Really, really cool stuff. And I also like the fact, too, that playing Galaga, too. Not only did it offer variety, too, like that, but also it's a great game to play against friends and things, too. Always enjoyed that, too, you know? And recently, when I went to, I actually went to we actually have a Dave and Buster's, and they actually had I believe it's Make-A-Wish Foundation. They actually have a Galaga machine set up there for Make-A-Wish. Really, really cool stuff too. And I also like the fact that each of the challenge stages was, each of them were set up a little bit differently too. One thing I always liked about that, I like that variety too that they offer too. Now you gotta notice that a little menu that popped up. I'm going to show you how that little menu works. So somebody was asking me about that. I'm going to show you at the end of this video. I'm going to show you how that little menu works as well, so you'll be able to see how that works as well when you're playing main. That's what I was saying about those challenge stages. How I like the fact they do vary from stage to stage. Almost got that last one. That stage, whenever I play on that stage, that's always been a tricky stage for me. I think I've only gotten perfect on the stage maybe once. It's pretty tough. So you can see now as I get into some of these higher rounds, things are really do start to get really frenzied. One thing I love about that is the fact it does get difficult. The higher stages especially are pretty challenging too. Now I wanted to mention too that I do have, if you go to the channel, I do have one of the videos I made. I actually made a video on a couple other Galaga versions as well. I think I have Galaga 3 in there too, and Gapless, and there's a couple other versions I made that are pretty cool about Galaga as well. That's one thing I like about Galaga, the fact that it had so many different versions and things over the years too. That's one thing I've always enjoyed, the fact that they did that too. Really cool that they had that over the years too. Let's see if I can get that fighter back. Let's see. It's pretty tough on this stage, but we'll see if we can do it. Oh, not quite. Oh. That menu that I have, I'm going to show to you. I want to show you how that menu works then, too. Once I'm done with this game here, I'll show you how that menu works as well. Now, see, that's the thing with this version, because that's the thing. Because you don't get any extra menu. You basically have to work with the 3 that you have to begin with, and that's what makes it really challenging on this setting. So there you go, guys. So there's Galaga. Now let me go ahead and show you what that menu screen was that I actually brought up earlier, so I can show you how that actually works. Let me put my high score in here. Now somebody asked me, what was the highest Galaga game I ever had? Well, on the settings that I have right now, on the settings here, I was able to flip it. I got over 1 million points. I was only able to do that one time though on this particular setting. That's why this is so difficult. When I played at Dave & Buster's, I was able to flip that machine twice at Dave & Buster's, but then again, they had extra men and everything available on that as well. Now, that screen I was telling you about that had the menu, let me show you what that is. I know some people were asking me about that, so I'm going to show you here. On main, you can actually bring up a screen that actually has a screen that'll come up on the bottom that will show you things such as the master volume. You can actually set it to come up. What this does is this allows you to adjust things such as the master volume. You can adjust the Namco volume. You can adjust, different settings for the mono and the speakers and things, depending how you want everything to go. You can also overclock the CPU. There's different settings on there available for overclocking the CPU. I don't actually use these overclocking things or anything like that on MAME. I haven't had to use those. You can change the screen refresh rate. You can change the screen brightness. You can change the screen contrast and everything, the screen gamma, the screen horizontal stretch, the screen horizontal position, the vertical stretch, vertical position. And those are the options that you have when you use that auxiliary menu that comes up on the bottom of the screen. I don't use it very often. If I have a game in particular that has a really loud ROM, like in particular the sound might be really loud, like if we're down here playing our games and I have a game that has particularly loud sounds, what I'll do is I'll bring that up and then I'll actually adjust the sound up and down. You can use your joystick to adjust the sound up and down, as you can see here. So that's what that actual menu screen is used for. Alright guys, I also want to mention too that if you want to go and show your support for the Kurt's Place channel, I do have merchandise available now as well for the Kurt's Place channel. If you want things such as hats, mugs, keychains, shirts, the link to my online store is actually in the video description down below. Alright guys, I want to thank you again, by the way, for tuning into the Kurt's Place channel and checking out my game review of Galaga. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great day now. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye now. See you next time.